Hey y'all, my name is the Reverend Emily Norris, and I am the pastor and developer of a new community of faith here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina called The Dwelling. The Dwelling is a gathering mostly of God's beloveds who have lived or are currently living the experience of homelessness. You see, we live in a world that constantly tells folks that are experiencing homelessness that they don't belong. And The Dwelling is a church that tells them boldly and loudly that the world has it all wrong. The Dwelling tells us that there is a holiness in the identity of someone experiencing homelessness, that there's actually a kinship that they share with a God who reminds us that we are all homeless, that we are all wanderers in pursuit of belonging. As we abide in fear this week, I want to share a little bit with you about my experience of fear leading up to the start of this new thing. I just kept praying. I would say, Lord, make it clear. Whatever it is, I will do it, but make it clear so that my fear is not stronger than my love. And I meant it, mostly anyway. My final year of seminary, as the world was spinning in so many possible directions, filled with multiple paths forward, most of which I had absolutely no control over, I spent a lot of time making negotiations with God. But I held on to the promise that I had made. Lord, whatever it is, I'll do it, but make it clear. And after a few dead ends on what forward could have looked like in my life, I started to feel a shift in what I was being motivated to do and how I was being called to serve and who I was being led to love. See, I had spent several years of my life investing in and sharing life alongside my siblings who were experiencing homelessness here in Winston. I had been lucky enough to hold their stories, to share in their grief, to celebrate their joys. But mostly, I had been lucky enough to love them and be loved by them. So as a season of my life, my seminary journey came to an end, and there was an expectancy of something new and unknown coming. Fear felt real, and it felt personal, and like something that I could not control. So I continued to pray over and over and over again, Lord, make it clear. Whatever it is, I'll do it, but make it clear. So my fear is not stronger than my love. But in my fear of what loomed ahead, I could also hear this voice buried somewhere deep in me that started nudging me towards the lived response to my prayer. I knew in the core of my being that I was being called to start a new thing, to create a new community of faith, a gathering place, a dwelling, where my neighbors experiencing homelessness and God could meet. My luck to love them collided with the answer to my incessant prayer, and the dwelling was born. And it is beautiful, and it's full of incredible humans sharing their God-given belovedness with each other. And each week we gather and we speak God's truth into our broken and our cracked places, into our places of fear. And the kingdom of God is better for it. But I have to admit, even though my bones were certain and are certain that this indeed is the thing that God is doing, my fear of worthiness to shepherd it, my fear of failure, my fear of unmet expectations for both myself and others was, and if I'm being honest, still is real. Fear is real, but fear is also not to be feared, right? Fear is the place where we can abide with God. I'd even say that our fear compels us to dwell with God, to draw close, and to trust, and to listen. When we abide in fear, I think we fully exist with God. But our challenge then is not to be moved to inaction by our fear, but instead respond to it, knowing that we have a God that goes before us and with us and behind us. Joshua 1:9 gives us this assurance. It says, I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So I leave you with this prayer and the assurance that your fear is precious and it is holy, because it is a part of your belovedness and your invitation, your beginning point